Okay, so draw this on the front because this is the most important part. Well, you can't see it? Shoot, 1 second here. So we have a right angle triangle here. Most important part of the unit, so we want to draw it on the front so we can always see it and always remember it. The blue parts, those are the legs of the triangle, and the red part is the most important. That's the hypotenuse. Write this down, write this down, write this down. The hypotenuse. The hypotenuse in red, it has two very important pieces of information. Number one, it's the longest side. So you should get every question correct if you make the longest side, because the longest side must be the longest side. You can't make a leg longer than the longest side. That's your check, that the longest side is the longest side, and you'll get every question right, or not know how to do it, one of the two, okay? And the other thing about the longest side, aka the hypotenuse, is that's across for 90 degrees. So that 90 degrees is this nice, beautiful little box symbol right there, which you've seen forever and ever. You actually look at it, and it's like it draws an arrow. There's the arrowhead of the box, and that arrowhead points at the hypotenuse. So it's almost like it draws and points and makes a straight line to the opposite side. So you have to make sure the hypotenuse is opposite from the 90 degrees. If you can do that, then you've done a good job, and you're going to get most of the questions correct from this one little fact. We're probably going to draw this about 3 or 4 times. Make sure you do every time. It helps you memorize it. Okay? So what we're going to look today is we're going to look at labeling triangles, and then we'll get into the Pythagoras theorem in a second. Labeling triangles. Turn the page over. Okay. When you're labeling triangles, there's a couple things to keep in mind. The first thing is that capital letters go on the corners. Okay, so let me just go backwards here. There we go. Down here, okay, so first of all, there's 3 angles or vertices, and plural of vertices is vertex, and that just means the corner, okay? So there's 3 corners, 3 angles, 3 sides, that's a triangle. Write this down, write this down, write this down. The corner is the vertex, and the corner is the vertice. Okay. And triangles always add to a total of 180 degrees. You're absolutely going to use that fact when you prove whether you've got a right angle triangle. Okay. Now this last part is what we're going to focus on a little bit for right now. Each vertex is labeled with a capital letter, and the opposite side is labeled with the lowercase. So the vertex is a capital, the side is a lowercase. And that's what we're going to focus on. Side opposite is a lowercase. Side opposite. Okay. So let's go back up to the top. Here's our triangle. Okay. Please label it ABC. Now, some people are concerned that C should be the 90 degrees. This is, how about I change my letter? I don't like changing my letters just because these ones are easy to see, capitals are not. So if we have capital A on the corner at the top, we can put our pencil right here inside the triangle, and we can draw a straight line to the opposite side. This opposite side is called little a. Okay, so we could draw a straight line. Nick, did you draw a straight line? Draw a straight line from capital A to little a. Now we can say that that side, little a, could also be called by the 2 capital letters on either side. So little a could also be known as what? Capital B, capital C. Okay. And you could say CB, however, it's not alphabetic. Okay. Now, what about capital B? Put your pencil here on this corner and draw an arrow to the opposite side. When you do a straight line to the opposite side, that will be the lowercase b. So side little b could also be known as what 2 capital letters? The 2 on each side of it are A and C. Okay. So this is how we label our sides. Now there's one left. Okay, we have C. We can put your pencil on C and draw a straight line again. That opposite side would be little c. And what two other letters would identify little c? A, B. Okay, there we go. Now, for an angles, you could use a single letter or three letters. We'll get into the three letters later. But what do angles, angle A plus angle B, okay, kind of sideways L, that's the angle symbol, plus angle C, what do they add up to? What number? 180 degrees. Okay? So that's another important fact. Triangles, the angles add up to 180 degrees. If I was going to call this triangle a name, I'm not talking like a bad derogatory name, but call it a name with its letters, what would I call this triangle? I'd call this triangle what? Well, I'll do a triangle symbol. Triangle ABC. So we use three letters with a triangle symbol at the front to call names for triangles. Okay. Alphabetical is best, right? Giving it some order and purpose, that's what we like to do for now. Questions, comments, concerns? Okay, so going down then, we're just going to make a couple more notes about this because it's so important. Looking here, first of all, number one, corners are capital letters. So circle the letter A, write down corners for the capitals or capitals for the corners. Okay, that's very important. Corners are capital letters. Write it down again. Write it down, write it down, write it down. And what's the other factor we looked at? Yeah, the little a. So the opposite side is the lowercase. Okay? The opposite side is the lowercase letter. And then we have the name. We can name it two different ways, little a or capital BC. Your choice. Your choice. Write this down, write this down, write this down, write this down. So down here, you can see how we've labeled it differently. What I want you to do is I want you to tell me which side is angle C. Which side is angle C? Sorry, angle C. What side? Okay, so we have little c. What's the name for the capital letter, the side with the capital letters? Oh, right here, what is it? BAAB. Okay, usually we go alphabetical, but BA wouldn't be wrong. Good, and so then we have side B. What's side B? Right here, AC. And what about side little a? It would be called BC. Okay, so it's important to see vertices are capitals, sides are lowercase. It's help you, and we call it triangle ABC. So if you look at the triangle and you erase one line, it's kind of like a hungry mouth. The hungry mouth eats the opposite side. And that's kind of a good visualization to help you draw the arrow to the opposite side. The hungry mouth eats the opposite side. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns, interesting facts? Okay. So for assignment 1 then, what you need to do is you need to draw an arrow to the opposite side. Okay. Draw an arrow to the opposite side. Yeah, and then you can label it, right? So you can see here how I did it. Lowercase z, lower y, lower x. B, same thing. You can even call the triangle by its proper name, okay? The answer key is on the back. Check your answers always. Give you about 10, 15 minutes for this, and then we'll do starting to Pythagoras, okay? Assignment 1, go.